Nice.
Bring a little posing for the shot I want to do. Finally cracked open this Nightcrawler. As you guys probably saw in the beginning of the video, got this guy from Amazon and Emma Frost. But yeah, a little pre-posing to set up a shot. I have a little bit of a dilemma. I don't know if I like it like that or with like the leg bent in a little more.
Hey. Yeah, let's see how you do under pressure. Oh. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Okay. Hey. Yeah. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra. Fuck with me, you know that I got it. Come with me, let's take a trip to the islands. We up on the jet, we'll do more than just fly on it.
And here's a quick look at the overall setup. Got my ninjas propped on a bunch of stuff just so they can be, towering over the team so you can still look at them. And yeah, man, it's pretty much the setup. A little bit of magical action. My dumbass didn't check that the microphone was charged, so I wasn't really able to give any commentary on the last shot. Now, one of the figures I wanted to talk about was this Nightcrawler, man. He's kind of a disappointment. I really wish that they had updated the body. I know it's the same body as the original comic book version. I remember if the comic book version from Hasbro had the butterfly joints as this one has, but I've never really owned any Nightcrawler before this one. And while it is the 97 version, it fits pretty good with my comic, versions you guys saw in the picture. I still think that, it left a lot to be desired, man, especially in the hips. Like, that's how far this thing can go, man. And that's the main disappointment. I think the articulation. I think any Nightcrawler should definitely have articulation on level with Spider-Man, man. He's just, as acrobatic as any of them, as Daredevil, Spider-Man. I think that those body molds would have fit him well. I understand he is a little skinny, but I don't know, man. I just think that the Hasbro team could have really had a chance to update this figure and give us a way more articulated Nightcrawler. This version of Wolverine still holds up, man. This is the Juggernaut Wave Wolverine. Actually, when it first came out, I picked up the whole wave and I picked up an extra one just because this is my favorite costume for him. And I think this guy still looks better than that retro version they tried to re-release. And I think it's the only brown suit Wolverine Hasbro has given us, right? I think the body mold might be still old. I think they updated it once with that X-Force Wolverine. But I'm definitely excited for the new Astonishing one, man. But this guy definitely still holds up with the best costume of Wolverine, the brown and yellow. And finally, real quick, somebody asked me what I used for the Banff effects for Nightcrawler on Instagram. I actually used the blast effects, the pink blast effects from Tamashii Nations that came with the in States release of Star-Lord, I believe. I sold the Star-Lord, but you know me, I need effects, so I kept the effects, for a little bit of toy photography, just shined the purple light on them to give him more of a purplish hue. Even though in the comics, sometimes he does show up with like pink Banff effects, pink smoke. But I wanted to give it that purple hue still. And somebody else also asked me what ninjas I was using. I don't have them here right now, but I was using the articulated icon ninjas, which are still probably top notch, the best ninjas out there, especially army builders for me. They still do go up for a little high prices on Mercari and eBay, but definitely worth it if you're trying to army build some cool ninjas. All right, guys, real quick. I still have a little bit of sunlight here. It's been a minute, man, since I've recorded during daylight, but I just kind of wanted to get into the theme for this episode with the recent reveals, man, of like all the legends and all that good stuff that has been revealed lately. I feel that Marvel Legends are kind of back, man. Some people might argue that they were never gone, but I just feel that they were kind of a little too busy with MCU stuff. I'm not really an MCU guy. I'm more of a comic book guy, and that's where my bread and butter is. That's why I feel like I haven't picked up a full wave in years, man, just because I'm not really interested in building any BAF that has to do with MCU or picking up any MCU figures. That's just not how I roll, and I'm not really into that. So I kind of wanted to bring it back, man. I'm excited for this year that they've put all their chips into the comic book stuff. And I thought that would be kind of fun to just kind of go through some old Hasbro legends. I sold most of my Toy Biz stuff, like I've said a million times. I don't hold to old shit if they're gonna update it. But I held to some Hasbro stuff that they haven't really redone, and I would want them to kind of take another stab at it, man, with the new pinless joints, the whole updating in the photoreal. I think this is the perfect time to kind of go into some of these figures that I think would be kind of fun to revisit. And I thought it would be kind of a fun episode, man, kind of Marvel Legends focused. So if you guys are interested in that, stick around, and we'll kind of get into that. So yeah. Now, my first pick to talk about is definitely an update, a modernization for Marvel Legends. Is this return of Marvel Legends from the first wave, Modern Thor. Yeah, probably one of my favorite costumes for Thor for sure. A little bit of Asgardian action. Thor just choking out Loki straight out. I was mentioning, we definitely need an update on that modern Thor, man. But there's another few costumes I would be pretty interested in. I think the heroic cage would be a pretty good, addition to that list. He pretty much is not too different from the modern Thor. They just added black gloves, I believe, to him. I think another one that I think would be a good contender for a pinless and photoreal design would be the one that was being used during Marvel Now. I think I like that costume. It's pretty good. It's almost like the reverse of the modern costume where they add more kind of hints of a classic suit, but he still has that modern design to him. If that makes sense. And yeah, man. And ideally, this would be the height I would want for him to keep, just because those early Return of Marvel Legends, Marvel Legends had no height. There was too much height discrepancy. There was no real scale to that. That Thor was huge. He was the exact same size as the Hulk, and it was just completely all over the place. But this would be a perfect size for the new Thors, and I would love for them to keep this kind of semi high, because he's still bigger than Captain America, but not as big as Hulk, which is perfect to me. Now, another figure that I would love for them to kind of take another crack at is definitely this Loki, man. This Loki's not it. The head sculpt is pretty great. I really do like that head sculpt, especially the smiling one is really awesome. I just think they really messed up the body. It has pins. I wouldn't want them to do a classic Loki, even though I wouldn't mind if it was a classic Loki for them to take a shot at him. But I feel this is so recent and it came out in the retro pack. Now, there's a rumor with the recently revealed Cabal 3-pack, with Iron Patriot, Doom, and Taskmaster. That was actually supposed to be a 4-pack, and we're actually getting a new Loki. Now, if I remember correctly, from that time, there was a female Loki that was running around with the Cabal. But before that, really, Thor was fighting Doom because they had moved Asgard to Latveria. And that was a male Loki. So if we get that version of Loki that was helping out Doom, that would be perfect, man. I think that's an awesome design, an awesome sculpt.
I feel like blessing my ride today. I know how much she like rolling. The smoke from the ties away. No telling where we'll be going, but I'm gonna be on it, it for sure. Think I might leave shawty at the crib. Can't stress by nobody child today. That's why I'm out on my own. Someplace I could hide away. I feel like blessing my ride today. I feel like blessing my ride today. Good for the most part.
Yeah, like a little avatar of the street. I always tweeting on some cool stuff, man. So I got these images from him.
Something a little different, non-toy related. Got some new shoes. You guys collect shoes? Let me know what you guys collect, man. Or what else you collect besides toys. Kind of curious. Not really a shoe collector, but I'm curious on what you guys collect. I did used to collect hats also, and watches. But all right.
Nice.
was a quick package that came in from Japan, man. I actually was able to pick up the Mecha Freezer finally. This was definitely a figure I was looking forward to. As you guys know, if you're new to the channel, I don't really do reviews. I do what I call mostly overviews, where I kind of talk what I like about the figure, what I don't like, and pretty much kind of mess around with the figure itself. So let's get into it, guys. All right, guys. Now, starting with the pros, what I like about this figure, man, and you guys are probably tired of me saying it, but SHF just knows how to do Dragon Ball figures. The sculpt on this thing is immaculate. I love it, man. All the mechanized parts, like you can see the seams on the mechanized part of Frieza. You know, the sculpting on the shoulders. You know, it's just beautiful, man. You can't even see the seam. This is actually a new separate part. You know, compared to the 1.0, who had more of a seamless, you know, no really kind of layering to the arm, but this has some layering to the arm, which, you know, but we'll get that into that later. But yeah, just the seams all around. Like, look at this stuff, man. The sculpt on this guy is just great. You can see the scars everywhere. And I just think that they nailed it, representing the character of Mechanized Frieza. Like this figure, if you have Dragon Ball fans, man, and you know, just, you know, people who casually know Dragon Ball, they're not the biggest, you know, kind of like Dragon Ball people, and they know Frieza, but they see this on your display, they're gonna start asking questions, because this just attracts the eye, man. A cyborg Frieza is just something that really looks amazing on the shelf. Now, jumping straight into articulation, man, because this is another thing I love about this figure. This thing just moves smoothly, man. I would go as far as to say this could be the 3.0 Frieza. And it's just something about it, man. The way the shoulder pads move out of the way, how smooth he moves, it's just, you know, anything you would expect from SHF Dragon Ball to be able to do. The best of the best when it comes to posing, man. Just, you know, amazing work. And it's just everything's so great, man. I love the way this thing just poses. Now, the only issue I do kind of have with articulation is the tail. You know, it's just a really standard kind of thing SHF does, where it kind of just swivels and barely moves in the tail. But other than that, this guy just moves really, really great, man. I mean, as you guys can see here, a little demonstration of him just kind of like doing the cooler pose, where he's just kind of like powering up. I did a little the last episode. You know, it's only fair that Mecha Frieza can also pull that off. And he's just right there, just powering up. I've also noticed for the articulation that the joints compared to the 1.0 are a little thicker, so they're a little more stable in my opinion. As you guys can see, it's just great stuff this thing can pull off, man. Let me fix this shoulder pad real quick. There you go. And that's another thing. It's kind of almost like how they upgraded the Saiyan Armor's shoulder pads to have like almost like a floating shoulder pad. This kind of does the same thing, where like you can literally move it. I don't know if you guys have seen it too well, but you can move it like that and then put it back in place. So just amazing stuff, man. Like I said, articulation is really right there. Anything you would. Another thing to mention is just how they redesigned the feet. Pretty much it's supposed to be, you know, it's accurate to the anime and the manga with the Mecha Freezer feet, but the toes seem to be a little longer. And as you guys can see, this guy can just do like a, you know, one leg pose, man, where he's just kind of knocking the shit out of somebody right here. And yeah, man, I just think this guy definitely nailed it. Another thing I forgot to mention about the sculpt, look at the little rivets. You can see, like, you can literally see where they bolted in the mechanic parts, the, you know, the Mecha Frieza section for him, man. Super accurate to the anime and the manga. You can just tell the people making these figures have a passion for Dragon Ball. And this passion just, you know, exerts into the figure, and it comes out to us, the fans, man. We can just see the work done for this. Like, look at this. They even, sorry, I don't know if you guys can really see, but they even sculpted inside the joints. That's crazy to me, man. Great attention to detail. Now, as far as accessories go, man, I think they lagged a little bit, but at the same time, they added something that we didn't really expect, and that was this guy right here, man. The, you know, the sword slashing effect when he fights, you know, when Trunks pretty much takes him out. This thing is super dope, man. It was not necessary. Well, it was necessary for the character, but, you know, Bandai didn't have to do that for us, and they did it right here, man. I love this thing right here. You know, a few head sculpts are all pretty great. A little bit of him being kind of pissed off. Now, the other thing is that I would have liked is for them to include these parts. So the parts on that head are removed when you have to switch in between heads, which is not the greatest, but it's not a super nitpick at this point. It's not really that big of an issue. Now, my favorite head right here. Pause, no diddy. My favorite head right here. Now, you guys can't really see it, or I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but right here looks like, even though this is probably my favorite head of him smiling and just being pretty much menacing, they kind of added too much glue here, man. And since this is a matte finish, the glue really kind of discolored or almost scratched the paint. It kind of sucks, but I mean, what can you do, man? It's just, I'm assuming this is just kind of a QC issue for mine specifically. And here we got a little more accessories. I'm laughing or screaming, actually. Probably when he's pissed off that Trunks is a Super Saiyan. And just, average hands. You guys saw earlier the Death Beam hand, the gripping hands. There's a hand for each one, the mechanized and the regular hand. And then, let me see if I can get this out. Then we got, the regular, key blast hand right here. And that's it, man. That's what I'm saying about lagging articulation. I would have liked like some type of, energy effect, but we haven't gotten those in a while. So it was kind of a little bit of a dilution to be expected. Now, as far as the issues, man, they're really minor in my opinion, but I do still have some. You guys have heard some of them already through the little overview. The tail is a big issue. A little bit of the articulation in the ankle, but that's not even worth mentioning, man. The big one. The two big ones, in my opinion, are having to do with articulation in the arm. And that's because, as I mentioned earlier, man, this guy, they kind of decided to add like almost like a layering of the forearm. So the forearm is a different piece, which makes sense for the mechanized section of it, but they did it for both sides. And I know he is supposed to be almost like armored in a way type of thing, but I don't know, man. The thing is, it affects the double joint. You need to kind of maneuver it and kind of get a full double joint in there. And it's kind of, a little bit of forcing and kind of playing around with the forearm armor to really get the double joint, which, it is hindering. That's kind of the main gripe here. The 1.0 was kind of like a seamless arm. It didn't really have that issue. It could definitely double joint completely, at least as far as I've been able to put it, as messing around with the figure. And the other issue stays right here is the sculpting on his arm. Now, as I was saying, the sculpting on the forearm, as far as I remember, Final Form Frieza has all the purple sections smooth. There's no sculpting. It's just almost like a reflective, almost, just crystal section, almost like glass. Now, I did want to mention that as a gripe because originally I thought it was a gripe. But after doing a little more research, going through the manga, I don't remember so much in the anime, but I know in the manga it does have those designs on the forearm. Now, whether that was a Toriyama forgetting, as he usually did, or it was just kind of a decision just to add those because there was some type of mechanism still added to it, I'll never know. I don't know if they're out there, they've kind of figured that out, but that was kind of the main gripe. But yeah, still the main thing is that double jointed elbow is not working for me. Ultimately, man, I love this figure. I think it stands out. It articulates great, even with those minor gripes. I think it's definitely a great addition to the collection, and he will stand great right next to Metal Cooler at the time. While I still pick up King Cold, I don't think I'm gonna shoot him just yet because I want to get King Cold in order to complete the scene that I want to recreate with Trunks. As far as the body goes, I was mentioning earlier, man, I feel that this could definitely be the basis for a 3.0 Frieza. I was talking to Cerebral Deep, and we were talking about each version of Frieza, and I think that it looks like Bandai just skipped the 2.0 and went straight to a 3.0, which is this. And I think that has to do a lot with the Namek Saga figures that they're releasing, kind of matching the art from either the manga or the anime a little better, which means that they're updating a lot of sculpts. And I think that, it's definitely an update compared to the old versions of them. So if they were to bring out a 3.0 Final Form Frieza after the full power Frieza, 100% Frieza, I would be, definitely down for it. But I think this is a perfect base to start rebuilding that fight. My next choice right here would be Dark Wolverine Dokken. Even though this figure still holds up, it's definitely due for a redo. They could even use that new Vulcan body on it. I wouldn't mind. Channeling my inner hand poser right here. Let me know how I do. Definitely an outdated figure right here. Iron Patriot. But with the announcement of the new Iron Patriot, man, I am super excited. You know, talking about Dark Avengers, Dawkins. We have Norman Osborn. You guys can see the candy color still present even from the beginning. And continuing it with the theme of Dark Avengers, Marvel Legends Ares. This is actually the reissue from the Thor movie, maybe Thor Ragnarok. But this thing needs a whole new body. He's a little too tall, man, for scaling now. He needs something to match a Thor or something. But definitely a deluxe. He needs to be a deluxe. A little bit of a group shot right here. Thunderbolts action, breaking out of Thunderbolts Mountain. It's always difficult doing group shots, man, just because of focus and lighting and all that good stuff. But that's what we got. That's what we shot today. Now, staying on topic with that Iron Patriot, man. As you guys saw earlier, the original Iron Patriot from the Ironmonger wave was just a repaint from the Extremis armor, man. So, a lot of people don't like the whole candy color, man, but I can care less for it because it is the closest Iron Patriot we ever gotten to the Mike Deodato art that he did for Dark Avengers, man. And the fact that they finally got the design right, where the Iron Patriot armor is supposed to be an amalgamation, I guess is the word, like a fusion between Osborn Tech and Stark Tech, man. It's just kind of Ultra making his own armor, and that's why the helmet is meant to look different. And it just looks like it's been pulled straight out of the pages of Dark Avengers, man. Now, continuing with the Dark Avengers, I would probably want the whole team. Even a box set I would take, man. But as far as figures and the remakes, definitely Ares. I would like him to see him in this Venom body. I was talking to Cerebral Deep, and we thought that this body would be good just with some modifications, add some armor to it. And I think it has just the right height to be about the size that Ares is supposed to be. It might be a little out of scale, but we want him to be imposing over the Hercules, or even the Hercules body that we got recently in the retro wave would be great, just to make it pinless. What's another big one that we need from the team? We already know Moonstone. All of those are needed. Dawkins, even though the Return of Marvel Legends one still holds up, the head sculpt is pretty great. I think it does need a remake. Just pinless. Make sure that the tattoo is on point, and add the third claw with the Mermaid blade. That's all I would ask for it. And that's about it. Those are the two big ones I want them to redo. The rest of them need to be made for the first time, man. Just go ahead and complete the team already. Now, real quick, as far as the shot goes, man, I was trying to recreate a little bit of almost like a cover from my favorite version of the Thunderbolts, and that is the 2007 version, right after Civil War and right before Secret Invasion, man. These guys, they're just one of my favorite teams. Another one that Hasbro needs to, redo and remake, man. I would like them to maybe even do a new Mac Gargan, even use this body, man, just add the eyes, maybe bulk him up a little bit. I don't think this Bullseye needs a remake because we got a Bullseye just really recent. I think this body still holds up. I don't really mind this Bullseye. That's somber though. That thing needs a remake as well. We need a Radioactive Man, and we also need a Swordsman. Swordsman is a biggie. What body would I put him on? Probably the Baron Zemo body, man. Make him pinless, double jointed, just switch out the arms, and we got a perfect Swordsman right there. That Green Goblin, I'm not even going to ask for a new one because I know Hasbro could never remake those damn body with the great sculpting that thing has. I'll stick with the pinless on this one. Still probably the best Green Goblin we have in the Marvel Legends line.
Be on it, you know it for sure. Got my leash shorty in the crib. Can't stress by nobody child today. That's why I'm out on my own. Someplace I can hide away. I feel like blessing my ride today. I feel like blessing my ride today. Swear make the world shut down and bring quiet to the ride. That's all been around. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with me time, is it? Ain't there a day, but at least I kick it.
Two types of therapy, one my driver's seat, two them thighs, you piece that together. I bet my high get reached, thank Gandhi ain't had this kind of peace. In arms reach is my attitude adjuster. In the clutch, I bring pressure. Till son ain't get close, I won't let you. My tongue it get spoken in lectures. This art, major spark, inspo, this part. Off of my kin focus start. Off instrumentals, then car out the Yoda, yo kickers and cars. I feel like blessing my ride today. I know how much she like rolling. The smoke from the ties away. No telling where we'll be going, but I'm gonna be on it, you know it for sure. Think I might leave shawty in the crib. Can't stress by nobody child today. That's why I'm out on my own and someplace I could hide away. I feel like blessing my ride today.
Nice.
Got the bands jumping out the bag. Vibe blowing out my jack. Got the loud jumping out the pack. Everything I'm on slab. Everything I do is got the bands jumping out the bag. Another milestone, look at that. Paper boy, I'm a paper route till I'm 6 down on my back. I'm an old soul like my dad. My old girl still a fan. Yo girl at the live show, so don't act like I ain't the man. I'm kicking my feet up, get franked like Aretha. I'm calm, but I'm teed up, just flip me a stack. The re-up just doubled up off of the muscle, I stuck to the task. They see me, I'm troubled, I'm bubbling up till it's stuck, and they want me to stay where I'm at. I'm good everywhere that I'm stepping, my presence is crucial. You know that this shit not no trend. On a big wave, I'm controlling the tide. Snake eyes when you rolling the dice.
This might be my figure of the year, man. The most anticipated figure for me to come in 2024 is finally here. Flash Thompson, Agent Venom. Alright, let's get into it, guys. Alright, guys, so getting into Agent Venom here, as you guys already know, I say it every time I'm about to do one of these. These are overviews. If you guys want an actual review of the figure, there's plenty of people out there on YouTube that did reviews on this guy, because this guy was a pretty hot item, and rightfully so, man. So yeah, all right, guys, jumping right off the bat, let's get into the positives, man. And I am super biased about this figure. As I said earlier, man, this was my most anticipated figure of 2024, just because I am a big fan of this run, man. I've never really read any of Ada Brooks' Lethal Protector, never read any of Matt Gargan's Dark Spider-Man. When it came to Venom, I got into the Venom solo issues around Agent Venom Flash Thompson, man. Everything from him fighting Jack-O-Lantern to Crime Master, protecting his family from the Savage Six, fighting, I believe, was it Moth or Fly? I believe it was Fly. I can't brain farting a little right now. And then him going over to fight Toxin. I mean, I can't recommend enough the run on Agent Venom, man. But like I said, I'm getting into the pros, little side note there, this thing just works perfectly, man. I think the Amazing Yamaguchi did an amazing job, no pun intended, on sculpting this guy. This guy just fits in, and I really like how bulky he looks, man. Just the whole overall look of him. He actually looks like a guy in armor. He's able to move in that armor. The articulation is beautiful. I mean, like, literally look at this, guys. Like, this thing is just fun to pose, as you guys saw. It's just, you can get him into some crazy poses and everything you would expect from Amazing Yamaguchi. Just it's meant to be posed, man, but for some reason this figure specifically feels like they've just brought their quality way higher up since I last purchased an Amazing Yamaguchi, man. And it wasn't too long ago. I've always been a fan of this line. I've always been a fan of, like, how they set up their figures for posing and stuff. But just this guy, if he feels on a different level, man. I can't complain at all. He just is perfect. What can I say? Go ahead and get him into a cool crouching pose real quick just to show you guys. Oh shit, something snapped. Got scared there. But this guy just, like, look at this, man. This all just looks great. I can't complain about the articulation. The articulation is definitely there. Alright, guys, moving along with more positives. The sculpting on this guy is just immaculate, man. I love using that word. This thing is just great. I mean, I have no complaints. The way the spikes look on it, it's everything I would have wanted from an Agent Venom. I just think that Amazing Yamaguchi did a really great job, and I think the sculpture really based his his work on art, like a mixture of three artists in my opinion: Tony Moore, Juan Dian, and Arthur Adams, and all of them do this bulky design for Agent Venom that just works, man. Venom is supposed to be a bulky character, and just adding armor onto him and giving him this stubby look, like just built guy, is perfect. All right, guys, now getting into accessories real quick. Let me go ahead and show you guys a few of them if I can get them out of this tray. First up, we got this rifle that he came with. This one's mostly based on the Carnage USA storyline, where pretty much Carnage invades a small town, in the countryside, and both Kane and Venom have to go in to try and take him out. So, yep, that's what the pistol, or the rifle, I mean, is based Next, on. Getting into the hands, man. They give you all this set of hands, pretty much expressive, fist, swinging hands, claw hands, even hands for the tentacles. They really give you a good set amount right here. We got a pistol as well. We got 4 of these pistols. They're all right. Not the greatest thing, but they work for him. We also get a 4 sets of these guys, which is the holster and like the attachment. So 4 of these come with it. I don't know if you guys can see it that well, but yep, pretty much. You can customize how you want the holsters or where you want the holsters to be. One of my favorite additions, man, is the different sets of eyes. Holy shit, is this cool, man. I never thought they would incorporate the night vision goggles practically for him that were seen a few times in the comics, mainly when he was hunting Craven. I think it was in the Savage Land. And that amazing cover where he's just kind of upside down with a rifle. But yeah, man, multiple eye options. Amazing. Spider webs, of course. You can't go wrong, man. Any Spider-Man type character needs spider webs. And these guys are pretty great, man. Sturdy. They look good. Sculpted pretty well. All right, next set of accessories. We get 4 of these blasting effects. I don't know if you guys can see. Is it getting in focus? There you go. 4 of these blasting effects. You get right here. 4 of these tentacle attachments, man, and they're super articulated, which are great. You can either attach the hand that comes in the tray to get have him hold some weapons, or you can attach other kind of like symbiote effects that it comes with that I'll show in a bit. But yeah, man, great work. And you also get 2 of these really cool effects, man, that you get pretty much when he's losing control because the sedatives are not working on the Venom symbiote that he needs to take. So you kind of have this symbiote kind of freaking out and doing all these spike effects and stuff. So, pretty good for shots like that where he's pretty much losing control. And finally, we get this really, really cool effect that he uses a lot through the comic run, man, where he just kind of creates a blade with his hand and pretty much tries to cut through some foes, man. Really nice addition to the set, and it wasn't necessary, but I definitely appreciate it. Really cool design. I really like how the silver builds out, because essentially the Venom is kind of creating almost like a metal effect to create a blade. So yeah, I like it. All right, guys, now into the negatives. While there are really minor gripes, there's still gripes in themselves. So yeah, let's get into it. The first gripe I really have with this figure is when you're kind of posing him around and just kind of putting him into some cool poses and stuff, a lot of his like tabs tend to fall off. I don't know if that was kind of like a Yamaguchi thing. I've never really had a character who has like interchangeable tabs or interchangeable pouches and stuff. So that's one kind of like the minor gripe I have. Well, it is kind of a gripe. It's not the biggest deal. It's not the end of the world. But it's still kind of an issue in my opinion. Another one that I really need to get into it, it's still minor, but I think it's worth mentioning is the accuracy of the Venom symbiote. Through all the art in the comics and like all the everything that you guys see, artists, depictions, cover art, as I was saying, man, my second minor gripe is really have to do with the emblem. So the emblem in the original art, from within the comic book and also the cover art, is always having the emblem a little higher, to the point that the mandibles of the tarantula, the symbol of the Venom, is literally on the neck armor. So that's one minor gripe I have. I really wish that this symbol was a little higher up. Another one I had is kind of that these tabs, I wanted him to come with a revolver, man. I think that that's one of his signature, weapons. And a lot of his art, he kind of has this pouch where he has in the front kind of designed this way. This actually was customized. It didn't come like this originally. I didn't really, because I kind of semi kit bashed it. I had to pop out one of these guys that are pretty hard in there and put one of these guys in. It worked, but I would have liked for them to originally include the possibility of putting one of the holsters right here and include a higher variety of weapons, man. I really wanted them to include at least a revolver. That's what I was looking for. Something real quick I forgot to mention, man, is I really love the paint job on this guy. Good lord, man. The shiny, the shiny parts of the armor shine. The contrast of like the matte black, almost grayish matte black with the shiny black, really creating that symbiote look is amazing. And then the shininess of the inside of the spider eye, like the lens, really gives the cells the point of it being almost like a lens, like a goggle. And that is straight from the comics, man. That's exactly how they drew it. They used the shading to reflect the idea that it was almost like glass. So yeah, beautiful work. Final thoughts on this figure. Fun factors through the roof. Posing is amazing. Accessories are on point, man. Like I said, and I'll say it a few times to this video, this is my figure of the year. I sold my Marvel Legends Agent Venom actually in anticipation for this one because I had this much faith on Amazing Yamaguchi. And I just think the overall design and aesthetic of the figure fits right in with Legends, and it fits for those specific art styles that I really love. And I mean, what can I say? I definitely enjoyed this figure. And now I'm going to go post the hell out of it, man, because I'm having such a fun time with it.
See how you do under pressure. A moment can live on forever. Yeah. Oh shit, they don't let me shoot a whole clip. Firepower in this coalition. We just turned the field into a demolition. It was desolate, but I had premonition. I was training for war, every exhibition, every extra mission, every enemy listening. Get off my dick, I got bad intentions. Make it right every wrong, and I'm back with a vengeance. I show you the ropes. Peace in my town, I can show you the coast. Up in the shots if they want.
You guys already saw most of the display. Still freehanding it. But I thought I've had a teachable moment, I guess, or a moment for a few pointers, man. That's what I do the whole channel for. Try and get more people into the photography hobby. So yeah, posing. That's the first thing I want to get into, guys. You guys already know I always preach that posing is the foundation. It's the first step you want to take to build your display around, man. And I think one of the best ways to do it is to just look at comic book covers. I feel that covers are what attracts people to specific books. They're usually the best artists they can get in the front, and just things that are really kind of fun and interesting that you guys can kind of find inspiration from. As you guys see right here, I did a little earlier, and then I went ahead and built the whole display around it. The thing that you guys want to really consider is framing, man. As you guys saw in the picture, there is a bunch of crap down here, random shit, but you're not going to see any of that because it's not going to be in the frame. You want to frame it to really give that illusion that the character's really in that world, that they're really running through an iron workshop or some type of factory in New York, and he's kind of blasting, and all I had to do was to position correctly and get the right framing, just keep the blast within the frame, and kind of build a few metal pieces in the back. And one of the final things I want to say is don't be afraid to experiment. With my experience, I'm not the best. I've never said I'm the best at taking pictures, but I feel like I have good enough experience to know that sometimes it just takes you messing around with things, man. You might not get it on the first night, you might not get it on the second night, but give yourself enough time and patience to just play around, set up different props, set up different poses, eventually the correct shot will come to you, man. But don't be afraid to, think outside the box and develop your own style, your own framing, your own personal things you like, man. Whatever you like is what develops your style. Once again, figure of the year material. Yeah, as far as the shot accuracy, man, I know that hobgoblin is not exactly accurate to the shot, even if I would have picked up the jack-o'-lantern already, which is technically his arch nemesis of Agent Venom. Or you could argue Toxin's his arch nemesis. But like I was saying, man, I think that the hobgoblin, while not accurate, I still think it served its purpose for the shot. And ideally I would have preferred jack-o'-lantern, but even that jack-o'-lantern, the new one from the retro wave, is not in the correct costume to fight Flash. But eventually when I get him, man, I might just give myself another reason to shoot Agent Venom again. But yeah, let's move on. Angela right here doesn't necessarily need a reissue, but I just thought it would be interesting to show her off. He goes for crazy prices in the aftermarket now, and it makes sense, man. You know, the whole issue with the creator and Todd, and her going to Marvel and being part of like the Thor mythos and all that stuff, kind of solidified her as, nah, I'm never really gonna get rid of her. She stands in perfectly with my McFarlane display. Another one I want to remake of badly. Not so much the body, it is the Bucky cap with like extra sculpting. I think only like a pinless update to a modern Nova would be perfect. Like just put on the Vulcan Buck and give me a super modernized Nova, man. Like this sculpting is awesome. Still one of my favorite Marvel Legends of all time. I think this thing came out around the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, man. Keeping it with Cosmic Marvel. This guy's old as hell. I still remember when I got him. So excited to have a Drax. Damn, this body mold is old. This is still the face-off Punisher, right? I believe they're still using that shit. Just finished my live with Cerebral Deep Battle Posing episode 0 a few minutes ago. This is a setup I worked on during that live, man. Go ahead and go check it out. Pause this video, go check it out, and then come back and we can talk a little more about the setup. So yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into it. Battle Posing episode 0. Now that you guys are back, man, this is the setup I completed during the live. The only thing I did tweak after the live was pretty much found the background I liked, tweaked a little bit of the posing, messed a little bit with the lights. But overall, the main posing, the main lighting, everything was done during the live, as you guys probably have seen by now. Shout out to Cerebral Deep, man, for helping me try to get this off the ground and just kind of, pretty much being there to kind of show off how I wanted this live to go. And the idea I have for battle posing, man, I really hope that I convinced a few of you guys to participate. We can get to battle posing, bring something different to the community, bring a little bit of competition back, and just kind of have fun with it, man, and inspire a few people to do more shots. But yeah, this was the overall setup. This is how I shot it, and let's move on.
Nice.
Likelihood of getting these as it's currently pacing, and if people think we're being a little negative on this, crap, this is it. This is my future.
Alright guys, actually been a minute since I've shot anything. I got a chance to mess around with my figures at this point in the video. Actually took a little bit of a break for my birthday, man. Went on a vacation, enjoyed a little bit of life, then came back and gave myself a little bit of a haul. So yeah, let's get into it. Got a few things, and I just want to talk about them a little bit. Not gonna get too deep into it, man, just because I want to save a little bit for the next episode. But we'll talk a little bit overview about these figures. All right, guys, starting off for Iron Man. I was able to find this guy at a local Target when I came back from vacation. Unfortunately, it was missing on Gauntlet, man. So I had to wait a little longer. I was able to pick him up and eventually replace him. But yeah, man, he was missing the left gauntlet. It is, yeah, left gauntlet. And pretty much he looked hella whack. So I wasn't about to keep that figure. So I went ahead and returned it, found a new one, and that's what we have here. Quick thoughts on this Iron Man, man. I'm super excited to have him. He's probably the most anticipated one I wanted from the new Iron Man wave. I'm glad to have this Model 20, even though it is technically not the Pentagon armor because of this little fins it has back here. I can't remember if the new Avengers version of Iron Man had the Pentagon armor or the Model 20, but either one, man, this is a perfect sub for my modular armor Iron Man, just to have a more modern Avengers, just because I was a big fan of the new Avengers run from Brian Michael Bendis, and definitely excited to have this guy to complete the team itself. And with Luke Cage on the way with Iron Fist, man, I'm super excited to have a complete new Avengers. But as far as the figure goes, real quick, articulation, it's all right, man. I do have a few complaints, like what everybody's been talking about on their reviews. Pretty much, you can't really put the hand up to kind of do like a repulsor blast. But other than that, man, this guy just does what it needs to do for an Iron Man. It's fun to pose, it feels durable, and I think it's a pretty cool design. Pretty awesome paint job, and a cool addition to the Hall of Armor if you're a big Iron Man fan. The only thing I would kind of wanted was like a modern Tony Stark head sculpt, but that may be asking for too much at this point. But other than that, man, this is definitely an enjoyable figure. It's gonna go definitely on the main display. All right, up next we got the YOLO Park Megatron. Shout out to Omar, man. I've been talking to him about these figures lately, and I'm pretty convinced that I like these guys more than the MDLX stuff, man. It's so much so that I actually ended up selling my MDLX collection, and I'll tell you exactly why, man. These guys are practically a representation of the cartoon, man. They have that classic timeless look you're looking for, and at the same time they have great paint job. They're some die-cast parts, and they just articulate way better, man. In my opinion, they feel much sturdier than the MDLX, and the price as well. Omar said it, a bunch of people have said it, these are only $60 compared to $90 to $80 for the MDLX stuff. And on top of that, they light up, man. I still haven't gotten any of the actual batteries for them to light up. I haven't had them for that long. I still need to go out there and figure out what batteries they use. But that was one of kind of the main selling point for me to get rid of my MDLX. And yeah, I know I put my MDLX on my top 10 of 2023, and I really did mean it at that time, man. But damn, did these guys pull them out of the water, especially for the price, the look, the articulation. The only gripe I have with this guy maybe is the joints are a little tight. It being pretty much a model kit, you do have to build them almost like a build a figure, but in my opinion the joints are a little too tight for my liking. But other than that, this guy just articulation is great, accessories are great. I'll probably want to get a little more into that in the next episode, but so far I'm really enjoying these figures. Now, moving on to the Optimus Prime. And out of the two, it's probably my favorite, man. Just because I'm a big fan of Optimus design. Cliff Jumper, Bumblebee, Prowl, all those characters are just cool designs in my opinion. And this figure doesn't disappoint. Like I said, great articulation, great design. There's some die cast in this guy, light up features. I still haven't gotten the batteries. Just a few gripes for this one, man. Well, the Megatron was a little tight. This guy's a little too loose for my liking. Like I said, man, it looks like they're still kind of finding their way around these characters. Like, look at this. Which I'm totally fine with, man. Like I said, for like 60 to $70, all the accessories you get, the articulation you get. I think, in my opinion, this articulation might be a little better than MDLX stuff. And he's just super fun to play with. Like I said, the classic design is really something a lot of fans are looking for, including myself. And these guys are just hitting all the nostalgia points I'm looking for, man. Just the way they articulate, the way they feel. Like I said, the foot are like a die cast, have die cast parts, and then all the accessories. I can't really pop out right now. Like I said, I want to get a little more into it in the next episode, but I'm definitely excited about shooting these guys, and they're doing really good first impressions. Like I said, their articulation is great. They're like dropping that shit. They're like build figures. They have like individual finger articulation, which is really fun. Like I just I can't get enough of these guys, man. I've been posing them all this time. This Optimus I got a little loose on me already, but I'm willing to look past that as long as they bring out really great product and the price is pretty good. MDLX did get a little loose on me as well. I think it had to do with the die cast, but I'm having a great time with this guy, and I can't deny it. But out of the two, definitely Optimus is probably feel like it's the updated figure, even though it's a little more loose. I prefer it to be a little more loose compared to it being a little too tight in my big joints, if that makes sense. But yeah, man, this was my something real quick. Taking a little break from some legends, man. Showing a little bit of Masco, Solomon Kane action. Yeah, man, this is setup. let's get into it. As far as the setup goes, I try to use the base from the Hot Toys Darth Vader again. I actually used it a little earlier in the episode on the Thunderbolt setup when they were breaking out of Thunderbolt's mountain. But right here, I kind of want to create almost like a shore. And, Solomon Kane is investigating what there's so many bodies popping up. And I have a cool green background. Just, a castle and just kind of him kind of roaming around this creepy castle. Yeah, there's a setup pretty straightforward. One of the little tricks I pulled was using this wrapping paper almost. I forget what the hell it's called in English, but yeah, man, I used this wrapping paper, plastic, made it seem like water splashing, and I have almost like a dead body right here decomposing. And I don't know how well this came out. I mean, it is something I'm trying for the first time. I haven't really used it before. I used it only once a long time ago, a few years back. But this time, I try to be a little more selective of how I use it. But let me know what you guys think. I wasn't too confident about it, especially with the lighting. It was a little too reflective, but we'll see how it pulled off. As far as the Solomon Kane from Mesker goes, it's a really nice figure. I actually got it, I think, a 2 or 1 episode back, man. I'm not the biggest fan of Solomon Kane. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I am a big fan of Robert E. Howard. So, ideally, at first, I wasn't going to pick him up. But then I went ahead and joined the wait list on Mesker, man. I converted and I ended up opening it, man. I thought I was gonna initially sell it, but once I opened it really enjoyed this figure. It's one of probably Mesco's best recent figures, just overall execution, and it made me just want the Zorro even more. So yeah, Mesco, if you're watching these videos, give me a Zorro. We need it bad. And finally, the lighting, man. I try to do the lowest settings because I wanted it to be like a dark scene. He definitely has to fire at night and have this yellow light right here shining on the right side to kind of make it seem like the light is coming from the flame itself as he walks with the torch. And then I try to make the green light down here kind of represent the water, but I don't know how well that came out. But yeah, that was essentially the lighting and the setup and my bootleg setup. Moving right along, man. Another one that needs a remake ASAP is the whole damn Wrecking Crew, man. I have the Pile Driver and the Wrecker. To be honest, it's just because I never got to complete them all on this hulking body. Hulkling? I forgot how to pronounce that guy's name, but I think it is that body mold. But I think an Omega Red or even a Caliban body would work good for him. And the whole Wrecking Crew, they need to be, imposing, but not super big to the point that they're the Hulk size. Definitely not. But yeah, a remake on this whole squad would be awesome. About time they need it. And last but not least, Winter Soldier. Yeah, man, just give me like either an updated Bucky in his classic suit or a Winter Soldier with more of a costume look, with the short hair that's more accurate to the Death of Captain America storyline. That's my favorite look for Bucky. Not so much for this one, but it's not bad. Then the final toy base standing, the 2 versions of Bullseye. So yeah, man, these are just the figures I have in storage. There's still a bunch of display that I need updates, so we'll get into those shortly. But yeah, the end of an era. Alright, getting around to shooting this Iron Man along with the new Avengers. As soon as I got this Iron Man, I knew I wanted to shoot them all together. But like I've said before, man, doing just group shots is pretty difficult. But yeah, man, it's probably gonna be my last shot of this episode. SCCC is coming up, and I want to go ahead and try to get this out before Comic Con starts. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna freehand it a little bit as I talk about some of the Marvel Legends I'm expecting to get and come in, man, and how excited I'm about them. I wanted to talk a little bit about the Scar, the Astonishing Wolverine, and that Miss Marvel. Yeah, so the Scarman, I'm definitely excited to pick that one up just because I'm a big fan of World War Hulk and just, Son of Hulk and just the whole storyline between, you know, um, the World War Hulk all the way to Red Hulk kind of being the main baddie in the intelligentsia. Talking about that, I got like the leader right here. But Other than that, yeah, man. Also, this Wolverine is my main Avengers Wolverine, just because I feel like this art style, this over exaggerated look for Wolverine fits in more with the Bendis Wolverine was running around rather than the astonishing Wolverine. That one's gonna go into my X Men display. And as far as that Miss Marvel goes, man, I'm about to get out there and try to hunt her down, man. I know some people have been seeing her out in the wild. You know, it is street dated, so they've been kind of been getting blocked and just not being able to purchase it for some people. But I'm still gonna try to get out there and see if I can pick her up. And yeah, man, definitely excited about those. And that Ghost Rider, man, oh, that thing looks good. Even though some people were saying it was short, um, I don't really care, man. That motorcycle is just too badass. Now, before I get out of here, let's get into predictions for SDCC as far as Marvel Legends go, or at least ones, man. Big ones is obviously the Ultimates, Ultimate Thor, Ultimate Iron Man. Give me anything Ultimates, man. Especially with the new series coming out, on Marvel. I would definitely take any Ultimates. Give me some new astonishing X Men. So let's complete that team and give me some modern X Men, man. I need the modern Nightcrawler outfit. But I'm talking about those looks they had between Messiah, Complex, all the way to Second Coming and Heroic Age. I think those would be pretty good for the X Men and the modern X Men. I really would want. What else would I want? Give me X Force. I think X Force would be great, man. But I'm talking about the original X Force, not the '90s one, the original Strike Force. So I would want X Force Archangel. Give me X Force um, Wolfsbane. Give me X Force Elixir. Give me X Force Banisher. Domino would be a great addition. I want them to complete X Force. I've been waiting for X Force for about 10 years for them to make that team, and they never really completed it. And yeah, man, I'm just happy, excited to see what they come up with next and see if I'm gonna be purchasing anything. As far as it goes, it hasn't been a horrible run for Marvel Legends. It's been 50-50 with the last wave, so we'll see how it goes. And maybe by next episode, we can see me picking up that Miss Marvel to complete the Mighty Avengers and then the New Avengers after that. So yeah. Let's get out. Man, how could I forget the most important 2-pack to complete the team? I'm deaf. I'm literally cheating right now. Yeah, man, I forgot to talk about that. Luke Cage. Yeah, definitely excited for that, man. I've been wanting that Luke Cage for a fat minute, man. I didn't pick up the classic just because I'm more of a modern guy. I remember one of my first Marvel Universe figures was that Luke Cage with the beanie and the glasses and the cage necklace, I kind of wish it was that version of him with the tank top and the black tank top and just the beanie, and then he made it, having sunglasses like he was depicted during the New Avengers run. But I'll take the yellow, the more classic modern version of him. Why not? But yeah, man, that Luke Cage and Iron Fist look mad nice. Can't wait to have them in hand. Guys, as far as behind the scenes goes for this shot, I have 4 lights this time, all white lights. Well, more than 4. I have 2 of the smaller lights right here, 2 of the bigger lights, 1 overhead light, and then I have a little light off here to the left. And just wanted to depict the New Avengers Volume 1, man, breakout, when all the supervillains broke out of the raft. And, Cap kind of built a New Avengers team to really, recapture these guys and bring them back in. So yeah, that was a shot right here. Have them kind of taking on a group of supervillains, trying to bring them back in. I still need that Luke Cage and Spider Woman to complete this version, right? What else am I missing? Let me know in the comments, but yeah, little starting off point for the original New Avengers. All right, guys, it's been another episode of Dynamic Saturday, episode 13. I just want to say appreciate all of you guys, as always, that make it to the end. If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead, rate, comment, and subscribe. I am a one-man team, as I usually say, so it does take a while to edit and kind of shoot these videos, man, but I still enjoy them, and I'll keep doing them as long as I enjoy them, as I've always said. But I really do appreciate it, and it means a lot for you guys to go ahead and share these videos and just try to have my channel grow, man. I really appreciate all of you that have subscribed in the past few months. It means a lot to me. So yeah, it's been a fun episode, man. Had a lot of figures to pose and shit, so had a fun. Got a real quick sneak peek right here for the next episode. And I want to give out some quick news, man. As far as battle posing goes, after this video, after Comic-Con, I should be dropping a video explaining a little more on it. Really want to give a shout out to all of you that have been, anxiously waiting for it, asking me questions about it. I'm still working on it. As I said, I am a one-man team. I do have a life outside of toys. This is my hobby, and I just try to find a healthy balance when it comes between figures and getting this thing off the ground. But I really do appreciate all of you guys for understanding, and really means a lot to me. All of you guys that are super eager to join. It should be really fun, something new. But yeah, man, looking forward to Battle Post, and I'll definitely have a link to the live here for all of you guys that missed out on the first episode 0, kind of detailing the news and just kind of the ground rules and how it's gonna work. But yeah, look out for that video, man. I should be dropping it after Comic-Con in that same month in August. We should start the preliminaries to start eliminating some people, because we do have a few too many to get the bracket just right. But yeah, man, so we're gonna get some qualifiers in, and I'm looking forward to it, man. As I said, I appreciate all of you that make it to the end, man. I talked a lot about Marvel Legends this episode. It was a Marvel Legends heavy episode. So if you guys have any opinions or anything you guys want to see them update, or any figures, specific characters, even deep cut characters you guys haven't seen, leave it in the comment below. Give me your opinion on what figures you guys want to see, what teams you want to complete, and I'll catch you guys on the next one, man. Dynamic Saturday is going to keep going. Appreciate all of you. All right, until next one.